morning. If we are live, I'm not sure yet. It's still too early to tell. Still too early to tell. Usually, I get an email saying that I'm not signed in. So maybe let's go on YouTube and have a look. Yes, okay, I'm live. All right, hello, good morning to at least three of you out there. Oh, hang on, I'm one of them. So two more. Um, I'm going to attempt to live stream from Brisbane to Sydney today, as the thumbnail suggests. We'll see how it goes. All we can do is give it a crack, I guess. So let's. So I'm starting here at Brisbane Airport. I thought an appropriate place to start would be here. So I see Nina's up. Yes, Nina. Thank you for texting. Um, yeah, I just had a technical issue with a flat battery in the laptop. I'll explain it a bit later, but when we get on the road, so I am going to join the chat. There we go. All right, we got some plane spotters just out there outside, um, and they're enjoying watching the planes landing at 6:30 at Brisbane Airport in the morning on a Saturday morning. So, all right, let's go and let's see how far this equipment gets us before before we stop. All right, just leaving the loop, the Acacia Street Loop at Brisbane Airport, the plane spotting place for people in Brisbane that want to watch planes. Um, things are kind of working. Yep, all right. Excuse my cough. All right, so today I've got the opportunity to deliver a brand new Toyota Hilux to Wollongong today. From Brisbane to Sydney and then just down into Wollongong, and I'll drop this vehicle off tomorrow morning. And then I'll catch a train back to Sydney and a plane back to Brizzy. So a quick little trip, but looking forward to it. So as I clean the windscreen. So brand new windscreen wipers. So hopefully the camera won't struggle to give us good pictures today. So underneath the taxiways here at Brisbane Airport, the taxiways to the second runway. I believe it's taxiways Yankee and Zulu. So there we go. Let's not focus on the raindrops. It is raining. Fortunately, it's been quite a lot of water between Brisbane and Sydney over the last week, especially Sydney, I've heard. I'm going to stop here quickly because I have taped up my window where the antenna cable goes through. However, it's not fully taped up, and it's annoying. So I'm going to just tidy that up. the equipment's still working by looks. And get out of here before the feds that just drove past. Actually, the security guys pulled in behind me to move me on, but I'm already moving on, boys, so you can not worry about that. Alrighty, Brisbane Airport right in front of us, where the plane spotters hang out and video their video the plane spotting from. There's people up there already. Plane spotters like to go up to level 9 at the P1 parking area there at B&E, and oof, all right. So that seems to work. All right. So Nina's not the best weather today, no. It shouldn't hinder. Hopefully it'll be a great drive. There's some technical hurdles. So this is a 2024, maybe it's a 2025 Hilux. I don't know. It's got 50 kilometers on the clock. It's brand new. It's automatic, but it's actually an EV. So has a bit of an electric motor thing happening, and I'll try and explain it a bit more soon. But let's just say the inverter that I'm using to power my equipment, if I use the starter motor, as in if I press the button and it starts conventionally, it will shut the inverter off, and then the router will shut down, and we lose the stream. So hopefully, hopefully that doesn't happen unless I choose it to. Anyway, oh, good work! Oh, what a legend! We've got one already. Oh, you are an absolute moron, taxi driver. What a moron! Well, we 5 minutes into the trip already, and we've already had our first incident being cut off by a moronic taxi driver. Mate, if you're going to go the wrong way, you could just go down the road there and turn right, and you'll be back here. So, what an idiot. So, well, what can you do? You just got to avoid these people. I am on the telemarketer's headset at the moment. That should be working. Yep. And yes, the drive is just over 900 k's, so not quite 1,000 k's. But for all intents and purposes, you just say 1,000 k's. Just round it up. So Gold Coast. Let's make sure we get in the right lane. When I say the right lane, I mean the correct lane. Yes, Nina, an exciting start to the day. Thank you, 13 cabs, T58681. Always like to have those details just in case. I mean, I'm assuming he was that close when he cut us off that we probably got the rego. So that'll make a nice short for tomorrow. We've started already. So I'll explain why we're a little bit late to start. So I was going to try and start at about 6 o'clock. Nina, how is the sound? And can you hear the wind whistling through the open window? Hopefully not. It'll only annoy me for about 12 hours today, but worth it. I'm going to have to teach Nina how to do the 5x5 thing. Um, so I have the light set up today. The light setup is the bare minimum. So one camera out the front, my laptop, the router, and the inverter. It's a small 200 watt inverter that plugs into the power socket. The power socket that it's plugged into is actually the constant power socket that's in the back of the center console in the Hiluxes. As we sit on like 90 kilometers an hour. And let's put some cruise control on. There we go. And there's one of my favorite Lexus, the RC, off to the left there in the first lane. Is it an RC 350? Give me an RC 500. Oh, wow, not RC 500, RCF is what I'm trying to say. So we're travelling light today, 5x5. You can't hear it. It being the wind noise coming through the passenger side window where and I thought I'd put the cable through the front window. I think that was a bad choice. That was a bad choice. But if you can't hear it, then that's okay. I can live with it. As we are about to go over the Gateway Bridge. So this is like this is a nice start to the day. I know I put the Story Bridge on the thumbnail, but I'm not going to duck into the city and go across the Story Bridge. I will, however, endeavour to go across the Sydney Harbour Bridge this afternoon, and make my way to Sheps Mound at Sydney Airport. We're going to do a few things today. We're going to do introduction to the UHF, to the CB radio, which I have in my hot little hand right here. Set to channel 40, the trucker channel. Well, the everyone channel. But yeah, it's like the public channel, you could say, that everyone can connect on, and then you can switch channels and what have you. So we'll see if we can get some CB action today. What else? Yeah, we're going to talk about this Hilux. So it's a hybrid. I hope my boss paid for the tolls. Yeah, so it's a hybrid Hilux, and the hybrid system on it, like it's got the EV sticker on the number plate, which is what alerted me to what it is, because there's no hybrid stickers or badges or anything on the Hilux. But I looked it up, and it's from what I can gather, it's a little motor attached to the engine. Bit of speed wobbles from the B double. It's a little electric motor. It's a 48 volt electric motor, I think, attached to the engine that through the belt system. So it's like an alternator, essentially. And from what I can gather, when you start the Hilux normally with the push button start, it uses the starter motor like normal to start the car. Now when that happens, it pulls so much load that it trips the inverter, it turns the inverter off, and then I lose my internet that I'm beaming out on, which sucks. And then I have to reset it as quickly as possible. So, however, this vehicle has stop-start technology in it, which means if I pull up at a set of lights, the car will stop. But when I take my foot off the brake to pull away from the traffic lights, it restarts and drives off. A lot of cars, a lot of new cars have that technology. Now, if it does that, it doesn't seem to use the starter motor. I think it uses the 48 volt electric motor to do that. So when it does that, it doesn't trip the inverter. So the stop-start technology, and my boss, Michael, if you're going to listen today, he said the next time we get to a set of traffic lights is going to be Coffs Harbour. He said we could talk about it then. Well, I can talk about it now, but we can experience it at Coffs Harbour when we hit a few sets of traffic lights. That the stop-start technology uses the 48 volt motor that's attached via the belt to the engine that will refire the motor without using the starter motor, is what I can gather. That the 48 volt battery is located under the back seat. Not that I've looked for it yet, but I might look for it tonight maybe. And so the stop start won't affect the transmission, but if I stop the vehicle for like when I get fuel, I'll have to stop the car. So hopefully I only have to get, did I say V-active technology? Is that what it's called? I don't know. Are you sitting there on Google looking it up? Nina, you little champion, you little moderator. I don't know what it's called. It's just a very, I couldn't even call it mild EV. Like you can't use it to drive on electric only mode. As we've got our first vehicle, this is going to be a constant thing because it is a constant thing. People just hogging the right lane. So the Ford Everest up ahead, I believe her name is probably Fee. Fee. Yeah, the right lane's the overtaken lane, mate. Yeah, it gives it an extra like 12 kilowatts, like 15, 16 horsepower. So it's supposed to just give the vehicle a little bit more oomph. So yeah, a little motor generator. So it's a motor when you want more power, and it's a generator, so it will regenerate the battery under the back seat. So the 48 volt battery will get charged by the 48 volt motor generator, but then when you want to use that power, it will then discharge from the battery through the electric motor and provide the engine with an additional 12 kilowatts, I believe. So this must be a Hilux SR I'm taking. It's not an SR5, or it's definitely not a Rogue. Yes, that's probably where I was looking it up yesterday. Oh, I see the problem. Fee is from, it might not be, I mean, I don't know if that's a personalised plate, but it seems to be a New South Wales plate. So that's a good question. Who's worse at not keeping left unless overtaking as I follow this New South Wales driver? Queenslanders or New South Welshmen? Clearly New South Wales at this point in time, but I'm about to spend most of the day driving through New South Wales, so we'll get a first-hand account. Oh, Fee, you're wobbling all over the place. Maybe you need to pay attention to the road. I have no idea. Is this person drunk or what? They're definitely not overtaking. This is not considered an overtake. I'll give them a flash just to do the right thing. I have no idea what this person is doing. They are all over the shop. I've not for a long time seen a car like moving from side to side across the lane as much as they are. No idea what they're doing. Oh, they like can't even keep the vehicle between the white lines. Like, what is going on here? I'll I don't know what the go is with this fella, but he's holding up traffic behind. I don't have a rear camera at this time, but he's holding up a line of traffic in the right-hand lane. He's just sitting in the right-hand lane, just being a right-hand hog. He's a bit of an overweight fella. I couldn't tell. Yeah, he's getting flashed. People are flashing him. He's getting flashed to move. Now people are having to go around him. That's a perfect example of how not to drive on a motorway, people. And I don't know if he's born in Australia or if he's an immigrant or if he has been driving in Australia for very long, but it doesn't seem like it because he has literally no idea. Everyone behind him has been flashed. He's just still sitting in the right-hand lane, has no idea. As I look to change lanes, let's hop in behind this Hyundai. And then take the exit towards the Gold Coast and then finally Sydney. Windy. No, it's not windy. Like, I can looking at the trees, there's like no wind. That he's not wobbling all over the road because of wind, trust me. Nina, not at all. He was a mobile roadblock sitting on about 95 kilometres an hour in a 100 zone in the right-hand lane. Perfect example of ignorance. Someone who has no idea. That's not a person that's just wants to sit in the right-hand lane because they want to block traffic on purpose or anything like that. As now the Nissan Juke, such an ugly car. And look, you know what? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I get it. But the Nissan Juke is definitely not an attractive car. It's just bulbous. And bulbous is not a good word. It's only windy. No, it's not windy. Nah. I just don't know if that person driving that vehicle in the right-hand lane is a very good driver. They're not... Like, when I looked across, I'll just tell it how it is. Very overweight. His stomach was basically pressed up against the steering wheel. So, take from that what you will. I can't see having your stomach pressed up, being so fat, being overweight, being unhealthy. I can't see that being a good thing for driving, having your stomach pressed up against the steering wheel. So, unfortunately, I don't have a camera out the side yet, but hey, the channel is only young. Well, I'll get back to the vehicle. Thank you, Nina, for describing the 48-volt hybrid system in the new Hilux as a as the Chinese Hilux imitation passes us. I'm gonna have to come across because we're gonna lose a lane soon. So I'll just make sure I've got some space, no cars behind me. And you know me, I wait until the merge point before I actually merge across. But this Mazda's not They could be doing 100. It's all right. The speed has only just recently changed here through Springwood with roadworks. It has been 80 for quite a while, but now it's back up to 100. So what else have I done? Have I got ways up? I actually haven't got ways up. Oh, wow, silly me. Why don't I have ways up? Sheps Mound is where we'll, as another New South Wales driver in front of me, I can feel, because I've got the adaptive cruise control on, I can feel when the vehicle detects another car in front and it slows up from 100 k's an hour to like 95, whatever Mr. Hoodie is driving. People who wear hoodies in the daytime, criminals. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Sheps Mound at Ross Smith Ave, Mascot. All right, so it's just you and me, Nina. You and me. So this says 9 hours from here. 9 hours. Look, we're going to take some breaks. We definitely have to fill up at one stage. So, thank you, Mazda. So yeah, thank you for describing the hybrid system in the new Hilux, and it's almost such a small thing. Like, it adds 12 kilowatts. 12 kilowatts. It adds 12 kilowatts when you put your foot down and you take off. I mean, it's already a turbocharged engine. It only adds 12 kilowatts. And you can't drive electric mode only. It almost seems pointless with the amount of money, research and development that technology would cost. Like, I get it, the stop-start technology is going to work better with it than just the alternator. Now, I'm assuming there's both, because Michael was asking, why does it sound like it starts with a starter motor when you first start the car using the push button, but it doesn't sound like it when it does the stop-start technology? And that's what I'm deducting, is that, so why even have a starter motor anymore, Toyota? Like, you could literally just start the vehicle on the motor generator, the 48-volt motor generator, unless the battery's flat. So there's the 48-volt battery under the back seat, but the car obviously still runs the 12-volt battery, because you've got all these 12-volt systems in the car, like your phone charger and all that sort of stuff. And so if the battery ended up being flat, the 48-volt battery ends up being flat, because it's only like 3.1 amp hours or watt hours or whatever the thing is. If it ends up being flat when you park the car up, then you wouldn't be able to start the car. But you still can start the car with the 12-volt battery under the bonnet. And then once the car's running, you can then charge the 48-volt battery under the back seat. All right. Oh, this BMW coming up behind me in the left lane. He's going to hit a bit of a roadblock. You watch. He'll fly in between. He's getting chased by the Golf. You watch him carve it up. P-platers. Well, at least the first one. Yeah. There you go. A bit of action. What do we got? A BMW and I'm going to assume they're probably friends and they're probably street racing each other. Obviously, we don't condone that sort of behaviour on public roads. Anyway, I will remember that there's no rear-facing camera today. So if I see anything in the rear-view mirror that's about to happen, I will preempt it. All right, Waze is open now, so... Yes, Waze is on now. I had so much to set up this morning, and then things weren't working. All right, so I'll get back to the slight issue I had and why I started at 6:30 instead of 6. Is firstly, I had my laptop upstairs last night, but I'd left the charger for it in the car to hook up this morning, and the battery got quite low, down to like 5% last night. So apparently, when I plugged it, well, not apparently, what happened was when I plugged both my laptop and the router into the car this morning, into the inverter, because the laptop was so flat, it was drawing more power than it does if it's just topping up the battery. And the router wouldn't fire up, and actually it couldn't do both. The little inverter couldn't handle trying to power both, recharging the laptop battery and running the router. So I had to disconnect the router as I drove from my place to the airport to start, disconnect the router and let the battery in the laptop charge as we go up to 110 kilometers an hour now. Well, I tried to with the adaptive cruise control, but the vehicle in front of me, oh yeah, they've sped up. Yeah, so I couldn't run both because this poor little inverter is, I definitely need to invest in a slightly bigger inverter. And I say slightly bigger because I still want it to be able to plug into the power socket of the car instead of having to clamp it to the battery terminals under the bonnet. So, so that's why I had to wait an extra half an hour. And then when I was at the Acacia Street Loop there at Brisbane Airport, the laptop had got up to 50% charge. So then I tried using both the laptop and the inverter, and they worked. Then, for some reason, my streaming software wouldn't connect to YouTube. And as the Corolla in front of me is slowing us down, that's how far the radar can detect the car in front. It can detect it a little bit further than that, but it started slowing me down that far, and I'm set on the closest setting. So it's three distance settings. What do we got? Oh, okay. I think that's so I just heard a ding ding in my ear. It's from YouTube. It's Sid Squad, I believe, might have started streaming this morning from Sydney Airport. So I take it they won't be there by the time we get there this afternoon, as again, being slowed down by the traffic in front. 110 people. But admittedly, the little Yaris in front is probably sitting on 110 on their speedo, not using GPS. So, and what sticker do they have? It's something to do with my other car is an Uber. Well, that doesn't surprise me. As we need the right-hand lane to drive back up to 110. I keep getting all these messages from Seed Squad. Maybe they're starting a live stream. Well, how about that? So Nina was just saying, driving assist systems, only discovered these when I explained them last time. Yeah. So, well, obviously the router's not charging because the router, I don't know, maybe Sid Squad's having trouble getting connection because I keep getting emails, keep getting notifications. The router doesn't need to charge because it's just powered on. I didn't bring the big lithium battery because I wasn't sure about putting it on the plane tomorrow. So so I'm dangling off a thread when it comes to powering up the equipment with this little inverter. Well, look, to be honest, I think I paid like $70 from JCar for it. It's just got a small lead that plugs into the power socket. It's just got the one GPO connector. The one GPO connector, so general purpose outlet, so plug. But I've got a double adapter plugged into that to run both the laptop and the router. Now, when everything's topped up, it seems to work, as it is right now. And as we pass Joy, all these New South Welsh people. So again, I'll say it. If you're driving and somebody overtakes you on your left, you should be left. If somebody has the ability to overtake you on your left, you're not doing it right. Doesn't matter. I understand the road rules, and that's fine. I'm not saying that Joy over there in her little Yaris is breaking the road rules, but what I'm saying is, if you practice good driving technique when traffic is light, like it is now, therefore when traffic gets heavy, moderate to heavy, and you still practice good driving technique, as I let the little Mazda 2 P-plater. The P-platers are in a hurry this morning. And but the Mazda 2 overtakes me on my right, as it should. But if you're being overtaken on the right, you're not doing it right. That's going to be my catch cry. I don't know that anyone can, disagree with me and make sense. Now this P-plater has hit the brakes all of a sudden and slowed right down for some reason. I've got my cruise control set. The ambulance is travelling slightly slower, so there's no noise. Isn't saying there's any speed cameras around or anything like that. So I don't know why he just backed the hell off. As now I pull in front of the Mazda 2. But for some reason, people don't like travelling in that left lane. When you think about keep left and less overtaking, that means keep left. Now, I know the road rules say that all three of these left lanes are left lanes. This isn't a centre lane. The ambulance is in the left lane. The overtaking lane is the right lane. So now we have a speed camera alert for in a couple of 100 metres. Let's see if it's still there. There it is. Speed camera's still there. As I jump back into the left lane. Literally 110 kilometres an hour. Exactly. GPS speed, 110. And again, overtaking somebody on their right, you should be in the left-hand lane. Just saying. There'll probably be a little bit of quiet time on the drive today. I'm not going to talk the whole way. Well, or will I? My friends who know me will probably think I will talk the whole way. Nina's saying, do I need to get it back? Maybe I do need to get it back up. I was saying just before, I'll probably need to invest in a slightly better inverter for the light setup so that um, it doesn't, they're not just hanging on a thread, potentially about to lose power. Oh, hello, Sarah. Sarah, good to hear from you, mate. Sarah, Nina, Sarah. Those two will understand the joke because I actually introduced them face to face a week ago. So those two already know each other. At least they've been introduced. Thank you, Nina, for making Sarah welcome. This is, I don't know if she's ever chatted on a live stream before, so it could be her first time. I'm definitely keen. I won't talk too much about Sarah because I don't want to embarrass her or anything, but she is one of the coolest women I've ever known. All I'm going to say is this. I really want her on the channel to chat with her at some stage because Sarah's... I don't know too many women that have raced at Bathurst, and she's one of them. At the Bathurst 6 hour. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 6 hour. 6 hour? 12 hour. Oh, 12 hour. Bathurst 12 hour. Sorry, it was a long... I remember it was a long day. The Bathurst 12 hour back in 2012, if I got that, got the year correct. And second in class and top 10 overall in the Lotus. That was such a good day. I'm so glad that I was there for that. So yeah, Sarah's raced a few racing series back in the day. We might have to encourage her to get her. As the P-plater comes flying past me again, go little Mazda 2. I'd say predictability there is lacking. It's hard to predict what a car's going to do when they don't make sense. But anyway. Thanks, Sarah. I like being other people's favourite peoples. That's cute. Thank you, Bid Food Truck. Yeah, so, well, we'll talk about this section of road quickly. So, I believe it's from around, well, it's on the M1. I think maybe before the the Gateway Arterial joins up, but you'll see signs where it's 3 lanes. It'll say no trucks in the right lane, and when it's 4 lanes like it is here, there'll be signs saying no trucks to be driving in the right 2 lanes. So the trucks have the 2 left lanes, so lanes 1 and 2, as we see a whole stream of vehicles coming off, and that's a good point. If you can tell, they don't have a lot of gaps between them. So people are having to move out of their way so they can move across. When you come onto the motorway on an on-ramp, you have to have space in between the vehicles so that you can slot across into traffic without affecting the traffic already on the motorway and slowing down and speeding up and being a nuisance, being mobile roadblock. That's definitely something I haven't spoken about yet, but it's one thing to get up to the speed of the traffic on the motorway before you slot across. But if you've got a whole heap of traffic on the on-ramp coming onto the motorway and there's barely any gaps between those vehicles, you can't expect to get across. So anyway, we'll talk about that another time. So yeah, back to where I was. No trucks in the right 2 lanes here. I've driven this road a fair bit over the last 3 months, and trust me, some truck drivers don't give a crap. They will use the right lanes if they want to. So we'll do a few trips up and down the M1 motorway between the Gold Coast and Brisbane on the channel, and I'm sure we'll see it happen. So Nina's asking, Sarah, what's the longest drive you've done? Well, can I get in on that question too? Here we go. Here's a sign that says, trucks no right 2 lanes. So, well, it's a 110 zone, and if trucks are only supposed to be doing 100 kilometres an hour, if you had bloody 4 trucks wide all sitting on 100, then how's anyone supposed to do 110? My longest drive, are you talking about in one day or from start to finish? Or like, what's the, in one go on 1 tank of fuel? Hopefully Sarah will engross us on her longest drive. I know I'm going to say that my longest drive was from Perth to Brisbane. Probably getting close to, I don't know, 10 years ago now. I bought a car in Perth. I flew across, I picked it up and I drove it back. It took 7 days, but I overnighted a couple of nights in Adelaide and overnighted a couple of nights in Broken Hill at friends' places. So the trip was, I flew into Perth. I picked up my new second-hand V8 Volvo S80. I'll tell you what an understated, beautiful car the V8 S80 is. It was immaculate. White leather interior, beautiful bronze oyster pearl paint job. Oh, it was awesome car. I only had it for a year because I've got too many cars. So, and then a guy from Melbourne bought it, flew up, picked it up and drove it back to Melbourne. Kind of what I did. But getting back to Perth, I flew in, picked the car up. It was held at a car storage place for me. I went in, I picked it up, and I drove straight to, I think it was full of petrol for me as well, full of fuel. So I drove straight to a JB Hi-Fi to pick up some electrical connectors so I could connect my phone to the, I don't think it had, I'm trying to remember if it had Bluetooth or not, but it had a plug I could plug into the stereo. So I plugged a hardwired into the stereo. So, and then I left Perth. I was in Perth for an hour. Not my first time in Perth. It was actually my second time to Perth. All I'm going to say about Perth is that 1 hour is not enough time to spend in Perth. Obviously. And I drove to Kalgoorlie the first night, which was a Friday. It was what day was it? It was a Friday night, I remember, because the next day I did Kalgoorlie Parkrun. It must be one of the most isolated parkruns in the world. Kalgoorlie Parkrun. Anyway, did parkrun, left there, drove to Border Village just into the South Australian border. Amazing drive. Across the Nullarbor Plain, across the, it's about 138 kilometres or something like that, and the road is straight. It's one of the longest straight stretches of road in the world. Yeah, it was a huge drive, but it wasn't in one day, Nina. I get to Border Village, spend the night there. Up early, up just before sunrise, because there's a lot of wildlife out there, so can't be you don't really want to be driving at dusk and dawn. So we I say we, me and the Volvo, Vicky, I named it Vicky the Volvo. We started out nice and early on the Sunday morning, And it was New Year's Eve. I remember New Year's Eve, and we went from Border Village to Goolwa, which is near Victor Harbour, south of Adelaide. So from Border Village, so it was pretty much just a South Australian drive day that day. So first 2 days Western Australia, next day South Australia. I overnighted in Goolwa. Well, 2 nights in Goolwa. I stayed with my friend Tracy. For those of you who don't know, I was on a reality TV show a few years ago. Tracy was an awesome person I got to hang out with for a few weeks, and we've remained friends ever since. And so I won't change lanes yet. Oh, there we go. Thank you. There's a Golf behind me in the middle lane, but they changed lanes because the MG wants to hog the right lane, not overtaking anybody. Again, if I'm passing you on your left and you're you're just not doing it right. Oh, now she speeds up. Yeah, good work, champ. Good work, champ. Well, I've done this road a fair few times in the last 3 months, working a lot on the Gold Coast. But I've been working at Broadbeach, which is some of the next exits coming up. So there was a trip to Byron Bay a couple of weeks ago, which we live streamed, didn't we, Nina? So we'll see if we drop out as these 2 vehicles try to occupy the same lane. The Forester and the Troop Carrier. The Forester from the Northern Territory, the Troopy from New South Wales. They look like they've had a fun trip for the camping rig. He hasn't had a shave for a while, a few days. Cheap wine and a 3-day growth. As we can now occupy the middle lane. All right. So Sarah, Victoria to Brisbane. Which racetrack was it? You forgot which one. Winton or Phillip Island? Let's say it probably wasn't the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit. So there's Winton near Benalla. It could have been that track. There's Phillip Island, but if it was Phillip Island, Sarah, you'd remember that. What other racetracks are in Victoria? No big ones. No, like V8 supercar tracks. Oh, Calder racetrack, where the Thunderdome is. I raced that one a couple of years ago as a part of Thunderbolt Run. Brisbane to Cairns is. I'm going to say Brisbane to Cairns is slightly longer. I think I measured this. I looked it up. Nina might look it up. Brisbane to Cairns is slightly longer than Brisbane to Melbourne. Brisbane to Marlborough. Yeah, Marlborough's north of Rocky. That's not far. Rocky's like 6 hours. So Marlborough's only like 7 hours. That's a family member's place, if I remember correctly. How far is it from Brisbane to Cairns? I think Brisbane to Cairns, without even leaving Queensland, is a longer drive than Brisbane to Melbourne, which goes over 3 states. We don't quite go. You spend an hour in Queensland, which we are doing right now, and then you cross the border at that, just near Coolangatta Airport. Is Tezza on? Hey Tezza, morning brother. Good to have you here. I know you got to work later today, but hopefully you can be a part of the stream before and after work today. Yeah, so I'll finish my drive. So I did 2 days in Goolwa with Tracy and her family, which was awesome. And then I drove to Broken Hill, which isn't very far. And Broken Hill's in New South Wales, but they operate on South Australian time because it's just easier for them. South Australia time is half an hour behind the eastern states. But Broken Hill, being in the very western edge of New South Wales, operates on South Australian time. So that was a quick drive, but I did stop along the way and take some awesome photos of my car, new car, because I'd owned it like, 3 days, on a train line. Some really cool photos sitting on a train line. That was in between Adelaide and Broken Hill. Spent 2 nights at Broken Hill with some friends of mine. And then I drove from Broken Hill to Goondiwindi. And by then, I think it was Saturday morning again. I'm pretty sure I did park run there. And overnight I did park run and then finished my drive home. 7-day drive. 7-day drive from Perth to Brisbane. Could have been a 4-day drive, but I stayed at some friends' places. I swear I was following this ute with the trailer the other day. That number plate looks familiar. So Brisbane to Cairns is 17:03 and 18 hours. And what is it to Melbourne? Come on. It's not much in it. Brisbane to Cairns or Brisbane to Melbourne. Depends if you want to go and sip lattes and hang out in the crappy cold weather, or if you you want to drive north instead and hang out with the Irriganji. And the beautiful weather up in far north Queensland. It's amazing. Even when it rains, it's awesome rain. All right, we have I was overtaking, so I know I was in the right, even though little Mazda here, appearing on our left, was carving it up through the left lane. Obviously, I wasn't overtaking the vehicles fast enough. I know you say Victoria to Brisbane, but I take it that's actually Melbourne. So there's like about 10 kilometres difference between Brisbane to Cairns or Brisbane to Melbourne. Yeah, Winton Raceway. That's a loud. Oh my, he's old too. So a little Honda Civic Type R was quite loud and buzzy. You probably didn't hear it because no ambient, definitely no ambient mic today. And then I look across at the driver and he's probably 70. I kind of like that. I kind of want to be a 70-year-old still hooning around in a little Japanese buzz box. That would be fun. Oh, you're saying there's a few more K's difference in it. Ah, well. Well, that's what happens when they put bypasses in. They shorten the highways. The trips. Like, I remember it was pretty much 1,000 kilometres from, like, Holsworthy Army Barracks in Western Sydney to Caboolture in North Brisbane. Was 1,000 kilometres. Now with motorways and bypasses and stuff like that, they've shaved quite a lot of kilometres. Like, I'm going to say it's close to 100 kilometres off the trip, maybe not 100 kilometres, but just not going through like the old winding roads. Now with the big motorways, like it's it's minimum dual lane all the way from Brisbane to Sydney and Sydney to Melbourne. I remember when it wasn't. I have never been to Winton. I've driven past. I know where the track is. I've driven past it. If I could go back and do my time again, I spent 2 years in Albury Wodonga. Um, and if I could go back and do my time again, I would have gone to Winton and watched motorsport for sure. Back in the day. But unfortunately, I didn't. What's the... So the weather looks like it's getting worse. It's definitely getting greyer as we head towards New South Wales. Not a metaphor, just talking about the weather. Winton's a great track, but it's a bit short. I don't know, when did you go there, Sarah? Because I know that they added some. They made the track a little bit longer over the years. Unlike tracks like Lakeside. You like Lakeside, I'm sure. And it's no longer. It's like a... if you're in a good, decent car, you're doing Lakeside in under a minute. Under 60 seconds. Yeah, when was the last time you were on the racetrack, Sarah? So I was watching this paper flying around on the road, and then I think it got pinned to the front of the Nissan Navara in front, because it got flicked out from the car in front, and then flew up. I reckon it stuck to the front of the Navara. Been a few race cars have paper stuck to their grills and their radiators that caused some havoc over the years, especially at Bathurst, as we hit an 80 zone. That's a good track. Good track. That's a good track. Oh, you reckon Lakeside's better than Phillip Island? I've raced at Lakeside and at Phillip Island. I haven't raced a bike at Lakeside, but they actually have the bus stop, that little extra corner at Lakeside for the bikes to slow them down. So I've actually never been on that part of the track, but I've driven a bunch of different cars around Lakeside. Such a fun track, but Phillip Island is awesome. Such a good track. Sarah, that's a brag. That's a brag. The last track that Sarah raced on was the Nürburgring Nordschleife back in 2016. So that's 9 years ago, mate. We're gonna have to get you back out on the track soon. Yeah, the clouds are getting dark. That's a brag. I have been to Nürburgring. Like, I've been to the track. It was just after New Year's. It was in the middle of winter. It was snowing and the track was closed. There was no cars on the track. But the area is beautiful. Area was beautiful. Castles and what have you. Amazing part of the world. But I was only there for a brief moment. I think I stopped and had lunch while I was on my way to Munich. Yes, it is a brag. So you say... Oh, Maxi, sorry. Good to see you here too, mate. So apparently Julia flights. Are they in South Korea? Might have. I'm going up against plane spotting channels. I thought I saw them. As I get cut off by Rav. I thought I saw Julia flights in South Korea last night. Definitely lights on weather, people. I'm not sure if the automatic lights will, I don't know if it's dark enough. Well, the street lighting's on up there. Well, most of it's on, so I'm going to say it's dark enough here for the, well done there, Land Rover Defender. That's a last second.com move. Yeah, morning, Maxi. Good to have you here, mate. So I'll say this now. I think Tezza might still be hanging around lurking. Tezza the lurker. Actually, I can tell when my automatic lights come on because my dashboard goes into dark mode, which it just did as I went under that bridge. So there you go. I can't tell because the light on the dashboard just say that my lights are on. If you know Toyota, or at least the Hilux, you can't turn the lights off. You can turn it down to parkers, but you can't turn the lights off. Like, even when they're off, they're not. There's no off. It's auto, parkers, or on. So it's hard to tell, but the dashboard went into dark mode. So yeah, you're there. All right, so. I can't do it at the moment, but Nina, we're going to have to connect on Messenger for a couple of reasons. But one is because I've made a group chat. And I know you don't have very good Wi-Fi at the moment at that cute little cottage that you're staying at out at, what's the name of the place you're staying at? Wongelbong. Wongelbong? All right, here is the New South Wales border, people. We are crossing into enemy territory. This, that red, well, it used to be really red. That's faded. It's faded quite a lot. I don't know, weird looking spire, inverted spire on the border. As we now are about to go underneath. So we've already been under the taxiways of Brisbane Airport. We're about to go underneath the runway of Coolangatta Airport. And then this afternoon, we'll be driving underneath the runway of Sydney Airport. What a day. What a day for a drive. Yes, we're going to have to connect on Messenger so I can add you to the group chat for the moderators, Nina. Because Max and Tez are already there. So we need to connect on Messenger. But it's probably, I've looked for you. I can't find you. You're going to have to look for me. You're going to have to look for me. Look for me and add me on Facebook or Messenger or whatever. Send me a message, please. And I'll connect when I stop for a break. Underneath the Coolangatta Airport. There you go. We've been under two airports today already, and one more to go. And it's like you cross the border, and now it's just the weather's crap. Lucky I taped up the open window as the semi-trailer pulls in behind me, nice and close. I say nice and close. I probably didn't mean nice. Oh yeah, Tezza. Oh, how's all my friends? Hope Max doesn't feel left out. Maxie, you're sending me messenger messages. I can't read them at the moment. It did just bing on the computer though. I'll have a read when I stop. But I hope Max doesn't get FOMO because Sarah and Tezza have met. They met when Sarah and I got off the plane, got off two different planes at about the same time, and the plane spotters were streaming from level 9 at Brisbane Airport, so we walked up and said hello. And if the boys are going to be there again tomorrow night, I'll walk up and say hello to them again tomorrow. Because the best time to go and say hello is when you've just caught a plane in and you don't have any cars in the car park that you have to pay the parking fees for. So I can go and hang out for as long as I want and not have to pay for parking. Roger, thanks, Max. I'll read it. I'll read it when I stop for a break. I'll catch up on the messages and all that. And then it was Sarah's birthday a week or so ago. So Nina and I stopped in and said hello, and they got introduced. And then it was Nina's birthday. So everybody. It was Nina's birthday yesterday. I won't say how old you turned, because I'm a gentleman, but it was her birthday yesterday. Unfortunately, she was meant to go skydiving, and that didn't happen. And this is why, because the weather we are right now as we go past the Gold Coast is terrible. And not very good weather for jumping out of aeroplanes. What's the joke, Nina? Just so you guys are all aware, I can't really read much. I can just read little bits and pieces. There you go. Hopefully that put a smile on your face, Nina. Let's see if the Navara actually gets out of the overtaking lane. Now we're in New South Wales, and that's a Queensland registered car. Not doing us Queenslanders proud. Unfortunately, not doing the keep left unless overtaking thing, Navara. I am keen to see if they've got a piece of paper stuck to the front of their vehicle, because I didn't see where that went to before. I can't see it. But typical example of a motoring moron hogging the right lane, literally just sitting there in the right-hand lane, not overtaking in the overtaken lane. It grinds my gears. Oh, I forgot to mention, that'll be a segment. That's the question that I'll be asking people. What grinds your gears? Because you don't have the reverse camera this trip, and you guys, I'll give you feedback on what's happening behind. But yeah, the Navara has definitely not changed lanes at all and is still in the right lane. Nice Mini, new Mini. All these Minis with their Union Jack taillights. Alright, so what was the joke? What's the... Have I missed the joke, Nina? Yeah, it's frustrating when people can't merge. Oh, that's the grind... What grinds your gears, Nina? So, I see... Answer to joke is Toyota. Toyota. What was the question to the joke? What kind of car does Yoda drive? A Toyota. So Nina, what grinds Max's gears? Oh, yeah. People who can't merge. It'll happen. We'll see. We'll see. It'll happen. So Nina, a question to you is: do you know the name of the founder of Toyota? Do you know the name of the Japanese man who started Toyota? You might be interested to see what his actual real name is. And no, he's not from Star Wars. I know you've got Google on hand. You'll probably look it up. But I can tell you, you've already answered the question. It's just ironic because you say it as a joke, but... And the current company CEO is of the same name. I think it's his grandson. I think it's the person, the CEO of Toyota today is the grandson of the founder of Toyota. Yeah, Coffs Harbour bypass. Yeah, but it's not bypassed yet. Or is it? Is it open? No. We can't try the Toyota's stop-start technology if the bypass hasn't been opened yet. I'm pretty sure. Well, I was going to say our first tunnel in New South Wales, but I guess you could class the runway tunnel as a tunnel. But this is our first true earth tunnel under a hill. Stage 1's open. So yeah, so Toyota's founding father's name is Toyota. I'd say that not many people would know that. Here's a good question, Nina. Here's a good question. I know back when cruise control was first started rolling out into mainstream cars, it was suggested that you don't use cruise control whilst driving in the rain because the car doesn't know you're driving in the rain, and it could, if you aquaplane, it could end up losing control. But with modern technology in our vehicles today, with lane departure assist, like that the car will tell you if you're driving over the lanes, it will pull you back into the lane. It'll do all that. You've got stability control. You've got force brake force distribution. With all of these new technologies now, can we drive in the rain in wet weather with our cruise control on now? Especially the adaptive cruise control, which warns you if there's a vehicle getting too close ahead of you. Is it safer now to drive with your cruise control on in the rain than it used to be 20 odd years ago? That's a really, really good question. That's actually not a question I've researched. Oh, A9X Tirana was just drove past the other way. That's nice. I think that's a really good question. Because 20, 30 years ago when cruise control was getting rolled out, we didn't have stability control, brake force distribution, all of these other driver aids. Now that we've got all these other driver aids that are connected to the cruise control, like the adaptive cruise control, is it now safe to drive with your cruise control in wet weather? Another Queenslander that doesn't want to... He's doing a head check. He's having a phone held up to him. Again, Queensland, you're not doing very well. You're now outnumbering the amount of people. And you are live. You in the Holden, Colorado. Oh, there you go. Maybe he was distracted by his passenger holding a phone up to him. At least he wasn't holding a phone. Is this my segue to the fact that my phone is sitting in a quad lock cradle? Suction cap to the windscreen, so it's right in front of me there. I can look at Waze as we're driving. Shameless plug for a pro. Like, I'm not even I'm not promoting them. Well, I am, aren't I? Right. I can tell when you're as we're gonna slow down a little bit for the 80 zone ahead. I'd say there's some roadworks. Is it roadwork? Yep. It's back to cruise control off. Still controlling wet weather. But most drivers are not good drivers. So most drivers don't go and do a defensive driver's course. Most drivers don't go and learn how to drive on a skid pan when it is wet. And because most drivers don't do that, and I know that it's saying it like in rainy conditions, the ability to quickly adjust speed and brake is crucial for safety and all that sort of stuff. But let's be honest, most people who drive probably aren't as good or as clever or as fast reacting as the systems on cars these days. Just saying. Dropping in and out. Well, we dropped in and out around here last time on the way to Byron Bay too. Or is it my voice dropping in and out or the video or both? Because as we found, I would have thought, because video takes up a lot more bandwidth, that the video would probably glitch out before the audio. But as we've discovered over the last 4 to 6 weeks since starting the channel, is that the audio starts to glitch out first. I mean, I'm sure the video quality reduces, but it still seems to go okay. But the audio glitches out first. So why do Pistons make such bad employees? Shit, I think I've heard this one before. So is the video glitching? Well, it's all good. Today is, as this car is not getting up to speed, there's also a car on the side. This car, there you go, people. Someone's merging at like 50 k's an hour in 110 zone. And now cars are ducking for cover. And when I say that, cars behind were trying to get into the right-hand lane to avoid that vehicle merging at like 50 k's an hour. So there you go. There's another short for the next week. And the grind my gears was perfect example of people not being able to merge correctly. That was crazy. Who the hell tries to merge onto a motorway where traffic's doing 110 at like 50, 60 k's an hour? Crazy. They only work after they're fired. Nina. They only work after they're fired. That's a good... Hey, Nina.